Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Really excited to have my buddy Scott Pennebaker on today as an Investor Fuel member, and his company is now at a pace of 500 wholesale deals a year and growing rapidly. We're going to talk about scaling up your wholesale business. Professional real estate investors know that it's not really about the real estate. In fact, real estate is just a vehicle to freedom. A group of over 100 of the nation's leading real estate investors from across the country meet several times a year at the Investor Fuel Real Estate Mastermind to share ideas on how to strengthen each other's businesses, but also to come together as friends and build more fulfilling lives for all of those around us. On today's show, we're going to continue our conversation of fueling our businesses and fueling our lives. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Scott, welcome to the show.
Mike, thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you here and excited to talk about this today. And, there are a few people that I know that have scaled up as quickly as you guys have and are running an amazing operation. And I know you're planning to even kind of 10X it from here. So even though it sounds like you run a business that's bigger than most people, from your perspective, I know you guys think you're just getting started, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. We still have a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you tell us a little about your background? I know you've done a lot of different things to get you to this point. Maybe take a couple minutes and just kind of share how you got here.
Sure. I started in real estate investing in 2012. Actually started just buying a couple rental properties. I was a loan officer in the mid-aughts and knew that I wanted to get back into real estate investing, just that I learned that you could build, a balance sheet with banks' money, and I always thought that was really cool. So started out, like I said, with a couple buy and hold projects, then moved into some fix and flips. Had some good success early on with some fix and flips and base hits, 15K, 20K profit on those. Then I kind of got where I went into some bigger neighborhoods and got my shirt handed to me on a couple. And I've done enough fix and flips now to know that I don't really want to run an adult daycare. So kind of gave up the fix and flips, went back into buy and hold. And really from like 2015 to 2018, bought around 150 single family homes and bought all of those really from wholesalers. So that was really where I was kind of introduced to wholesaling and sourcing off market properties. And then in 2018, we look back at all of our rental portfolio and all the money that's coming in. We're leveraged at, 70, 80% on this stuff. And we're like, man, this really isn't making a whole lot of money. We may be bringing in a lot of rent on the top line, but by the time we pay off the management and the move-ins, the move-outs, the maintenance, it's not really cash flowing like we'd like. So we sold off a bunch of those and really just decided to focus on wholesaling. Rebuilt was actually started as a business to kind of seed our SFR business. But then when we were getting so many deals from our marketing, we were like, man, we really can't buy all of these. So we started flipping them over to other investors to take down. And that's really how Rebuilt was born. And that's what I've loved. Honestly, I love to do that more than I ever did to run adult daycare with fix and flips or to manage rental property.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this about me, but before I got into real estate, my last couple of corporate jobs were for very large retailers. And I know you came from the college textbook business. I mean, I think I got a lot. I almost had a head start by having that kind of merchant mentality of buying things. I mean, our retailers and your business too, you were a wholesaler, right? I mean, you bought stuff
That's correct.
at a higher price. I mean, it's a different widget now, but it's very similar business in a lot of ways, right?
That's a good thing you point out there. I hadn't never really thought about that. But yes, the textbooks were the same thing. I started that business in 2005, and we would buy back from students on college campuses. We would buy back from professors on campus. We would buy back overstock runs from bookstores, and then we'd resell them on Amazon and eBay direct to students. So just because they weren't using a book maybe here at the University of Kentucky, they may be using it at, Washington State. So you put it on Amazon and now you have a college bookstore in all 50 states. So that was the same mentality: buy low, sell high. Now we just have a different widget.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a scale up. I mean, you guys you're doing, 50 plus deals a month now, and I know you're just getting started. with kind of rolling out in other markets and things like that. But you have two great partners too that really complement each other. So what I've seen is a lot of the most successful real estate investors have a really strong, at least one other really strong partner. Sometimes it's a spouse, but a lot of times it's, maybe not. It's a brother or a father or a best friend or whatever. Talk about the kind of importance of your partnership with your partners to allow you to be able to scale this business.
Absolutely. Al Young and Brandon Devlin, they have become, two of my best friends. Brandon and I knew each other from a direct sales company that we worked in during college, actually selling books door to door during the summers. It's kind of a crazy boot camp, sales boot camp. So he and I reconnected in 2012. He had his own real estate holdings there in Nashville, and then Al had his stuff in Philly. But really, in 2012, I was looking for somebody to come in and help me scale the textbook company. Textbooks is a prescription industry, so basically, if we could get the books, we could sell them. Right? We just needed to know which books to buy and how much to pay for them. And so Brandon had stayed on with the Southwestern company for that decade and had a bunch of warm relationships with direct salespeople. So he brought over like 40 people to the textbook company in the first year and just kind of exploded. And he said, man, we really need to talk to my first cousin, Al. Al was working on Wall Street at BlackRock at the time as a data analyst. And so, Al was able to come in really in the first couple of years as a consultant while he still worked at BlackRock and just help us kind of figure out our database for how much to pay for the books, how much to sell them for. So we always used to joke that Brandon would, control the salespeople that went and got the books. They'd all come to Lexington and we would sell them out of here. And then Al would make sure that we were all making money doing that. And textbooks were great, but it really just kind of got where more things were moving into the digital era. We really loved real estate. That was where all our passion was. So in 2015, when they became equity partners in the book company, then we formed Al Brandon Scott, and that was our holding company that we bought so many of the properties through from 2015 to 2018. Like I said, in 2018, Al said, hey, we're not making money at this stuff. Let's sell these. Let's focus mainly on something that can give us a quicker return than the rental property. Rental property is great. Once the bank is paid off, that's the biggest thing is it's kind of a get rich slow. If you're willing to stick in there until the banks are paid off, then it's definitely a great retirement plan. And for us, though, where the book income was going down, we had to find something quicker. And so we knew we didn't want to do fix and flips and manage large contracting crews. So we decided to go all in on wholesaling.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think having the right partners can keep you safe, can help you get to a whole nother level. And I know you guys all have very different skill sets, and I know you guys all respect each other a lot too. So those are some, very important traits that I've seen.
Absolutely. I mean, Brandon really is taking the lead on opening new offices, a lot of the direct sales training, and that's his background, a lot of the recruiting. Al is really taking over kind of the CFO and the technology side of the business and overseeing all the data and the data points and helping with making sure our marketing's, not just casting like a huge net, that we're actually kind of narrowed in and saving some money on our marketing budget. And then I've been really kind of standing up kind of the new business. We're starting a title company. I'm kind of taking on the head of the lending and whatnot, and really kind of overseeing our flagship office here in Lexington.
Yeah, that's great. So one of the other things that has been really impressive about you guys is you seem to be able to, move ahead fast with building out teams of people to support you. And I know that you did a lot of that in your last business too, in the textbook side. Talk a little bit about, I know you use a lot of interns and things like that. So
Sure.
and honestly, probably if I could say, what are the two biggest problems that professional real estate investors have in my experience, like from Investor Fuel members or other things, it's always building out a team or finding the right people. So you guys seem to have a leg up here. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. In our textbook, I mean, Brandon's background was recruiting on college campuses. I mean, we recruit college kids to go out in the summer and sell books door to door, hundreds of miles away from home, away from their friends, give up their summers for experience, right? So that was his background. And when he came over to the textbook company, we kind of kept that up. We started a student buying program where we recruited college kids on campus to download our app and buy back books from their friends and whatnot. So we thought, how can we apply that skill set to what we're doing now. And the good thing about real estate that kind of falls in our favor is that with HGTV and all the exposure that this generation coming up has had to that, real estate is very sexy to them. It's not like we're out here trying to convince them to sell insurance, or we're not out here trying to convince them to sell healthcare or something like that. So when we talk to people, even University of Cincinnati has like a real estate major. I mean, a lot of these schools are starting to add real estate as a major. So when we talk to these kids, or when we post jobs on Handshake, which is like the major kind of platform that these colleges and universities have to post jobs on, we get a ton of interest, and people are excited. I mean, people would come. We do pay our interns, but we have a lot of them say, we'll come work for free. We just want to learn what you do. So that's good. We already have kind of a baked in interest in what we do with the younger generation. So that's where we've spent a lot of our focus. We talk about all the time, we can go buy talent or we can build talent. And we've really focused on building talent out from the college ranks. Our longest tenured employee here now is actually still in college. He graduates in December. So it's kind of funny. He's worked for us since he was a sophomore. But he loves it, and he knows he has a job right when he gets out. Right. So that's been a lot of fun to work with the younger generation. They're coachable. They're more flexible. They're excited to be here. And to be honest, not tied down. So as we're scaling an operation, they're willing to move, a state away or 2 states away for a larger opportunity. And it's not as big of a deal with having to uproot kids out of school and things like that.
Yeah, that's great. I think you've got you guys, I know you guys are really focused on your culture too, right? And so I think those are powerful things. And honestly, I think that is one of the struggles that a lot of real estate investors have, is they go try to find somebody that's done it before or worked for somebody else before. And then they come in with all these preconceived notions about how it should work or how it worked over there, or we didn't used to do it this way, or maybe it's not even investing. Maybe it's like the retail side, right? And that you still have those same challenges. Like, we didn't do it like this. And you have all those problems. But if you're building them from the ground up, especially the scale,
100%.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we can really train them in the rebuilt way, right? They don't come in with a preconceived notion of how things should go, and like I said, they're a lot more coachable. We've really done well too with hiring ex-college athletes or former athletes. They come with all the characteristics of they want to win. They're competitive, and those are some of our core values that we preach around here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And of course, you can't scale up an operation like you guys have and where you're going without being really good at putting systems and processes in place. So talk a little about what you guys do, or kind of what your thoughts are on building out the right systems and processes to scale up your business.
I'll be honest, Mike, for just a testimonial to Investor Fuel, it's been, imperative that, all the stuff and the sharing and the different platforms and softwares and things that we've been exposed to from Investor Fuel has been huge. Just taking a little bit here and a little bit there, and now we're working on some more proprietary software. We just think we do need something like that to kind of build out where we're going. But everything from launch control to some of the different CRMs and things that you guys have promoted from members of the group have been huge. And, the systems and processes, that's really a lot of Al's background. He was a data analytics at BlackRock, and really was over top of a lot of the tech, and would go to India a few times a year and meet with programmers there. So what we've built out now, or to this point, is pretty good for just kind of bootstrapping it. But our goal really is we've engaged with another company to really help build out a full scale platform for mobile apps, all the way down to a new CRM. And it all really starts at the back end with the data and how to bring all that in and be able to filter it and things like that. But, so that's more on the tech side. I don't do a whole lot with the tech. That's more Al's part, but just as far as our kind of our structure and what we've tried to build out from an office level, we started out with having an office director in each location, and then you'd have your lead intake, your acquisition managers. And honestly, even with interns, it's hard to hire and scale to 50 offices with having to staff everyone. So we've kind of gone to like a hub and spoke model, where we'll have a hub office like Lexington, Then our office director here will oversee the Louisville and the Cincinnati office. And then we just need a couple interns and a couple acquisition managers in those markets and let us run a little bit more lean, but also, cast a wider net.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So talk a little bit, share your thoughts on, I mean, there's a lot of real estate investors, I'd say most get into this business for hopefully financial freedom, making more money, and time freedom, getting some of their time back. And a lot of people assume when I scale up my business, then I can put the right people in place and get my time back, which we know plenty of people that have done that. And you guys were not happy with that. You're still kind of building. There's nothing wrong with either of those. I mean, a lot of people have an
Sure.
amazing lifestyle business. You guys are on a mission. I know we were talking about doing 50 deals, 500 deals a year right now. I know your goal is to be doing 500 deals a month. And so,
Correct.
but I know you guys are still working really hard to get there too. So talk about that balance for those that are listening that have a pretty good sized business or aspire to have a big business. Like, how do you decide whether you want to go all in on building something like you guys are doing, or just be happy with probably having a way better life than you ever would have had anywhere else?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like Al and Brandon and I, we were scaling the book company. I mean, at the time when we closed down right at the beginning of COVID because all the schools shut down, and then with more things going digital, it seemed like a good time to stop. But at that point, we had 125 sales reps out in the field, from in probably all lower 48 states. So we love to scale. That's just part of kind of our DNA. We're looking to have more of a life-changing event than we are just a lifestyle business, if that makes sense. So we want to grow this thing so big that, we get an iBuyer or somebody's attention that'll come in and buy us. So we think we can do that. We think the market's right for disruption right now. And that if we can control the deal flow, which is at our core level, what we do, there's a ton of attachment services. That's what makes it appealing to private equity and to iBuyers, is that we can attach a ton of different things as well to the deal. So we have the wholesale deal, but we can attach the title, we can attach the lending, we can attach the brokerage services and things like that. So as far as we're concerned, we want to grow, a juggernaut here, and it can be tough with finding life and home or home and work balance. But I do have a great team. We try to hire, like I said, the younger team, and the younger people are willing to work hard and put in the time. So, they'll stay till 6 or 7 at night, and I have to leave at 5 to go coach soccer, coach T-ball, and everybody's kind of supportive of that and on the same page. The same with Al and Brandon. Brandon has twins that are 4, and Al has 4 kids, and I have 2 kids that are 6 and 8. So we have 8 kids between us, and 3 wives that like nice things. So we definitely try to find the balance to do it all. With that. But I think it definitely comes down to hiring the right people and having a good team, so that you don't have to be there 24/7. Now, we definitely have text threads that go, well into the evening. But everyone's on the same page, and everyone, I think, like you said, with the culture, people really enjoy being here and what they do. So it doesn't feel like a job. We have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, you guys have been in Investor Fuel for a little while now. Would you mind just kind of sharing your experience of being a member of the group, and maybe how it's benefited you, and maybe how others could benefit as well if they're not in the group now?
Absolutely. We really love Investor Fuel. I love the meetups. It was frustrating during COVID that we weren't able to get together in person, but just the whole culture of Investor Fuel, and just the willingness for everyone to share and come together and really be, each other's biggest cheerleader has been awesome. I've made some great friendships in there, that will last a lifetime, and the benefit of the group is unmeasurable. So I'm really, thankful to you and to the team you have there for putting that on, and as much work that you guys put into it.
Awesome. Appreciate that. We're glad that you guys are members, and it inspires a lot of other members to see the growth that you guys have. And, the cool thing is, we even talked a little bit before this, like some connections that I can make for you and some things that we talk about. I mean, just to have this network of people that are willing to kind of share. Who do you know? Do you know anybody that does this? I mean, you see it in our Facebook group all the time. People are every day.
100%.
Somebody know how to get this, or is anybody doing this right now? And people just chime in, and try to help each other climb that learning curve even faster.
No, you're exactly right. It honestly has propelled us to where we are, just for the tips that we've gotten from, the direct mail with Yellow Letter, from, like I said, mentioned launch control, with Aaron's group there, and other things that you guys have sent our way and that we've picked up on at the meetings has been great.
Well, Scott, if folks wanted to connect with you guys, we didn't go over the markets you're in right now. If you want to rip them off, you can, but just whether they want to work with you in the markets or just learn more about what you guys are doing. I mean, maybe you can just kind of share how people might connect with you.
Absolutely. You can reach me on email at scott@rebuilt.com, or our website is www.rebuilt.com. We'd love to hear from you. We're currently in Lexington, Louisville, Cincinnati. In Tennessee, we're in Nashville, Chattanooga, and Knoxville. We just opened up our Huntsville office in Alabama, so we're moving south to Huntsville and then look to land in Birmingham early next year. We're in Philadelphia, because that's where Al is, and then we're also in Austin, Texas, and San Antonio.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we'll add your links down below. And if anybody that's listening to this, is in those markets, these guys are high volume players and looking to find ways to JV and partner with.
Would love to work with you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Scott, hey, thanks. First off, congrats on all the success you guys have had. I don't even remember when you first joined Investor Fuel. What kind of volume were you guys doing then?
Oh man, it was like 5 deals a month.
5 deals a month. So you've gone from 5
that
to
was a good month.
Obviously, I know you got some benefit from the group. Obviously, you guys have done a lot of hard work too, but it's just amazing seeing that in a 2.5-year period, right?
Absolutely. And man, like I'd mentioned, initially we had our Lexington office. We started in 2018, but we really didn't open our next office till, right around COVID. So a lot of that stuff has been added in the last 18 months. So we're confident that we can scale this thing to 50 offices in the next 36 months. That's our goal. And then hopefully we can have, a nice exit.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks again for sharing your story with us. It's inspiring for sure. Excited to see you guys where you see where you take this from here. It's pretty impressive stuff, my friend.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you at the $1 Million meeting.
Yeah. And everybody, hey, thanks for joining today. Hopefully you got inspired today. Learned a few things from Scott and their team. They're doing some amazing things. We appreciate you following us along. If we haven't yet talked about the Investor Fuel Mastermind and you're a professional real estate investor, we'd love to talk. Just go to investorfuel.com. You can schedule a call with us to talk a little bit more about it. Other than that, we'll see you on the next episode. Are you an active real estate investor? If so, and you want to latch on to the power of surrounding yourself with over 100 of the nation's leading real estate investors, all committed to building stronger businesses and living richer, fuller lives, you should jump on a call with us to learn more about Investor Fuel. Simply visit investorfuel.com to get started.